Hey, welcome, 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 welcome tonight. I got a good one for you today. Thank you for joining us live here on All Things Business. Al Thomas. First of all, if you have not subscribed, go to the website, click on subscribe, and the message will pop up. Just add your email in the box and click to sign up. We greatly appreciate it. Also, we love comments, thumbs up, please, to help the algorithm. We greatly appreciate it. Gosh, I see Mr. Rick Kubiak in Hawaii on tonight. Thank you so much. Mr. Payon over in Japan. Thank you so much, sir. We thank you for being on the call tonight. And gosh, I got a good one for you tonight. Everybody recruits. Now, get ready because it's going to be a good one. Everybody, even you, recruit. We don't look at it as recruiting. As you walk down the street and you smile at somebody, but what are you doing? You sold them a smile. That's process recruiting, even though you may not say anything to them. There's also silent ways of recruiting. I thought my phone was off here. So that's silently recruiting. So you have to understand recruiting is not always, it's always verbal. It could be body language as well. We all recruit, or we're all being recruited for someone or some way, right? If you're married, somebody recruited somebody there. You got a husband, somebody was recruited, or a wife. The military recruits. Think about it. Army recruiter. I remember my dad was a recruiter for him. The Navy recruits. The Marines recruit. The Air Force recruit. Everything in life, if you look at it, is recruiting. I don't care how you slice it and dice it. It's all recruiting. As we go over to the stands of thinking about the football industry, there's scouts in the bleachers at basketball, football games, baseball games, soccer games. They're in the stands looking who they can recruit. They're always recruiting. Everybody's being recruited. Like I said, relationships is recruiting. On colleges, we've got colleges recruiting young kids for the next semester to come in and pass the exam and recruit them in for the best of the best if they can. So they're always recruiting. Even the college sports team are recruiting. So everything, if you look at it, revolve around recruiting, whether you notice it or not, or like it or not. Your job. Think about it. You were recruited for that position that you're in today if you have a job. Think about it. And some of you are out there recruiting for a bigger raise as we enter this part of the year. We're always recruiting. Corporate America is recruiting. What? Executives to fill that executive slot or new salespeople. How about this one? If you don't cut it after looking at your evaluation, they let you go and they recruit somebody else in that spot. And hopefully, you're hoping they select you to go up in corporate ladder to get that position. Everybody is always recruiting. Some of you today might be recruiting for a new position because you don't like where you're at. The government recruits. Think about it. The FBI, the CIA, always recruiting people right out of college to come over and show them what they need. So you and I are always recruiting. If we're not recruiting, listen up, you are being recruited for something all day long. If you're in the network marketing business, what are you doing there? You're recruiting customers for your services or your product, or recruiting new agents or IBOs or whatever you want to call them for that industry. You're always recruiting. If you're in the insurance field, you're looking at recruiting new agents. You want to train them, bring up in a system that works for you, and recruit them into becoming great agents. Real estate agents are always doing what? Recruiting. There's companies out there now that have transformed and have reinvented themselves, where now they have a network marketing system in place that when you bring other agents in, you get paid on their efforts as well. So we're always recruiting, folks. Do not miss it. Always recruiting. There's something that General Patton once said. He said, fear kills more people than death. Why? Because he's talking about recruiting. If fear, what are you fearing? We always recruit. So don't take it as a bad word, recruiting. Recruiting is a great thing to understand and learn how to do. If nothing else, it's a talent that goes far, very far. So General Patton said something too about recruiting. He said to be successful, soldiers must know their history. And if you know history, everybody, everything evolves around recruiting. Everything. I read a book one time and it said it would take the active Congress of God to get this world back on track if everybody stopped recruiting. And we don't look at it that way, but can we be honest? That's exactly what we do, recruit. I'll give you an idea. Airlines, they recruited me. I'm not going to, yeah, American Airlines, oh my God, I got the highest status for years. They're recruiting me to, hey, get every year to requalify. You know, I use my points because I travel a lot. I use points a lot because I use my card to pay them off, but I use them as well as they use me. They recruit me to get their card. I use them to get points so I can travel for free. Like this year to Panama, to Mexico, to Europe, to Paris. I'm always looking for how I can not only be recruited, but utilize what the benefits of by being recruited by certain statuses. Just recently, I'll give you another one. I was just recruited by a cruise ship, Virgin cruise ship. They had a trip for $6,000. And I said, well, I don't want to pay that. Here's what I want to give you. And then next thing you know, I'll be able to use my points. So it was free for me because I had a couple 100,000 points. So because I learned how to recruit and play the game, I turned the tables in my favor. So always think about that, recruiting. Everything is about recruiting. And I use points a lot. Matter of fact, you could go back to my channel and subscribe, and there's a go look under playlist, and there's a 3-part series on credit cards that I can use the points to status, to be able to travel, airlines, hotels. I do it all on points for free. Why? Because I understand the system of recruiting, okay? You know, and we also have a private members on the channel. Here again, you can join that as well. So here again, the whole idea is learning how to recruit. Ron Paul, Ron Paul is a Republican president candidate, has a plaque on his desk, and it says this: don't steal, the government hates competition. Well, not only the government hates competition, everybody hates competition, but you got to be in the situation of recruiting. Everything is a competition, whether you like it or not. If you're an agent, you're in competition with another agent. If you are in network marketing, you're in competition. No matter what you go in corporate America or in competition. So understand there's nothing bad, nothing negative, but you have to understand how the game is played. Recruiting is so important. Well, gosh, let's bring it a little closer. What about the Democrats, Republicans? Yeah, there's recruiting there going on, right? Recruiting. Churches recruit. What do you mean? They recruit for a new pastor. Every Sunday when I go to mine, they're recruiting for new members in a way, but we don't look at it as being recruited, but we are. Come on, folks, let's be honest. We're recruiting. Dealerships, car dealerships, recruit what? Salespeople, men and women. They're recruiting. What are you being recruited for today? And what are you recruiting for? It's a two-way street, folks. There's a two-way street. Supermarkets recruit for your business. You know, they got, you know, coupons. Well, this place over here is doing this, and this supermarket's doing this. They're always in competition. So understand, competition is healthy. But the key is, do you understand the game? Your company you work for is recruiting. Wall Street's always recruiting. Think about it. They're recruiting for your 401k packages. They're recruiting your money. They're recruiting for board of directors. So everybody is always recruiting. If you're single, you're recruiting. If you're married, you've been recruited. Banks recruit for your money. Think about it. This bank will give you this, but if you put your money over here, we'll give you this. They're always recruiting. What are you being recruited for? Or what are you recruiting for you and your business? When I was on the bank board, and then when I got into the banking and on the bank with all that stuff, here again, it's all a part of recruiting. You know why? Because I had to worry about it all. Well, anyway, we'll go into that some other time. But business recruiting, show me. Let me ask you a question. As you guys listen from around the world, show me one thing that is not recruiting. What business is not recruiting? We don't look at it that way. But I want to open your possibilities up. Everything and everybody is always recruiting. I'm recruiting for more subs. So join my channel if you haven't signed up yet. I'm always recruiting. You know, new members, I'm recruiting. You know, what are you recruiting for? Everybody, I'll say it again, everybody is constantly recruiting. Whether you like it or not, whether you see it or not, everything and every aspect of your life is about being recruited. And I hope this bless you today. Because a lot of times as we go through our day, we don't even see it. We don't think about it. As a matter of fact, we think sales, the word S-E-L-L, people rather go to H-E-double-toothpick. You get the idea? Because they think it's a bad invitation. They think it's bad. There's nothing wrong with it. But you have to either A, learn how to use it for your advantage, or B, get used by their advantage. So I'll say it again. A, understand how it works for your advantage, or B, they'll take it and use it against you. So ladies and gentlemen, understand everything and everybody is always recruiting. Whether you make a dime or a dollar or get paid, it's not important. The importance is be aware that everything evolves around the word recruiting. I hope this bless you today. I hope this opened you up to possibilities. I hope you'll start seeing it as you go out today and tomorrow and from here out. You start understanding what makes the world go round. Recruiting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time tonight. I want to say thank you for allowing me to spend a little time with you today and help you understand that everything in the world revolves around recruiting. And before we go, hey, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and please leave a comment. It helps us out a little bit because we want comments from you all to find out what you want to hear about. We also want to understand that you too can take advantage of it, and go subscribe. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Take care. God bless. And as always, we'll see you at the top. Always see you over the top. Have a blessed